Have you ever made a decision and then immediately thought, why did I do that? Or felt something like joy, embarrassment, or fear so strongly it totally took over? Yeah, me too. Hi, I'm Enma Valladares, and today I want to talk to you about something we all have in common but rarely understand, our teenage brain. Most adults say teenagers are reckless, impulsive, emotional. Some even say adolescence is something to be afraid of. And honestly, looking around, it can seem kind of true. Be it watching until 4 a.m., turning a group chat into World War III, or transforming a 5-minute TikTok trend into an all-day mission. But the more I started connecting the dots, reading, listening, asking questions, the more it turned out there is a bigger picture. I've spent my time digging into what science actually says about this, and it turns out the teenage brain is way more than just stereotypes. We're not just reckless or constantly making up choices. What's going on in our brain is more like a building. We're not broken, we're just still under construction. Okay, here's the deal. Our brain is made up of more than 86 billion neurons, and they're all constantly talking to each other through trillions of connections. These connections aren't permanent. They grow, change, and even get cut, depending on what we use. That's called plasticity. And our brain is in one of its most flexible and powerful phases. But what does this mean? Think of it like this. Your brain is in kind of a record mode right now. The stuff you do the most, whether that's sports, music, hanging out with your friends, gets saved and strengthened. The stuff you don't do as much, like the history dates we learned for last week's exam, slowly fades out. It's like your brain is decided what to keep and what to skip on the playlist. And behind all that, there are a few key parts that work over time to make it happen. You don't have to memorize this, but it helps you know who's running the show up there. First, the prefrontal cortex. It is in charge of making decisions. But here's the plot twist. The part of our brain that helps us with long-term planning doesn't fully mature till we are 25. Meanwhile, at 17, I have to choose a career path with the same brain that forgets what I went to the kitchen for. And long-term decisions, at this age, I think long-term means Friday night. To make matters worse, the amygdala, the part of our brain that processes emotions, takes the spotlight. It reacts fast, especially to stuff that feels personal, like when we hit send on a text message and instantly regret it. It's not that we are being too dramatic. It's just that we are experiencing feelings at full volume. And that's also what drives our creativity and our passions. And lastly, we have the reward system, the area of our brain that processes pleasure and motivation. At this age, is extra sensitive. Homework, zero dopamine. Hanging out with friends, instant jackpot. The reward system is the area that is moved by motivation and peer approval, but it's also the way our brain has to push us to explore and learn. It's not about being too reckless, it's just how our brain pushes us to explore the world. But what can we actually do with this information? Look, I'm not here to tell you to meditate or journal every time you feel stressed. You have probably heard stuff like that. But knowing how our brain works gives us an edge. It helps us understand what's happening inside of our head, even if things feel confusing sometimes. Here are some ideas that don't sound like a lecture. First, know the 6-second rule. If you doubt if what you're about to say or do is something kind of dumb, just pause for 6 seconds. That's all the time your brain needs to catch up. Just take a moment to breathe and decide. Second, watch out for brain tricks. If you are chasing drama, feeling FOMO, or gonna do something risky just because it feels thrilling, that's your dopamine system talking. Doesn't mean you can't go for it, but at least know who's driving. Third, use your hype moments. Your brain loves novelty right now, so throw that energy into something that actually excites you, whether that's music, sports, or learning a new random hobby. Your brain learns faster when you're genuinely into it. And lastly, don't expect every decision to be flawless. You're gonna mess up sometimes. That's okay. What matters is noticing what has happened and carrying it forward. Now, if you're an adult listening, I want to leave you with one thing. Teenagers aren't trying to be difficult. we're literally still under construction. And sometimes it feels like adults expect a fully built house when we are still laying bricks. So when we leave chores half done, forget the deadlines, or act like we'd rather scroll than be responsible, we're not being reckless. We're just working on an amphibious wiring. You say, focus, and what we hear is, fight every impulse for the next 30 minutes. And trust me, it's harder than it looks. That's why the way you react matters so much. When you jump straight to frustration, it can feel like you're shutting the door on us. But when you ask things like, what's going through your head? It opens space for an actual conversation. And honestly, that's what most of us are looking for. A bit of patience and space while we're trying to figure out how our brain is working. Now, last thing I want to leave you with. The teenage brain isn't broken. It's messy, it's complicated, but that doesn't mean it's a disaster. It means it's full of possibilities. We're not in a glitchy phase of life. We're in a stage of rewiring, of testing limits, of becoming someone new, maybe someone we don't fully recognize yet. And that's okay. Every intense feeling, every impulsive moment, every late night overthinking spiral, it all means our brain is learning how to work in real time. So don't let anyone make you feel like adolescence is something to grow out of. This part is not the warm-up. It's not the out-of-control phase. It's not the mistake chapter. It's the build. We're not stuck. We're not too much. We're building. We're adapting. We're becoming. And that's not just beyond impulse. That's beyond power, beyond potential. And it's happening in our heads, right now, every single day. Thanks for listening. And next time you ask, why did I do that? Now you've got a better answer. Thanks.